Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our first FFG Live of 2025. I'm your host, Xander Tabler, and I'm joined today by the Danny Schaefer. And as you all were pointing out in the chat, someone brand new to the Star Wars Unlimited live streams, or at least somewhat brand new, right? You might have been on one to play a game?
Yeah, I've played games on there.
Yeah. So not completely new, but this is the first time, Mercedes, you're joining us to talk a little bit about your role on the team.
Yes.
Which is super exciting. So would you like to introduce yourself to everyone who maybe didn't see that gameplay stream?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Mercedes. I'm the new visual design manager for Star Wars Unlimited. So all of the visuals involved in the game, from graphic design to managing the art direction team, all fall under my purview now. And so we're here to talk about some of that cool stuff. As far as my history, I've been with Fantasy Flight for a very long time. I've been here for 13 years. Worked almost exclusively with card games in my time. I started in the graphic design department, being the graphic designer for 5 years, working on, all the way back to Call of Cthulhu, the card game, Warhammer Invasion, Warhammer Conquest. And I think the first game that I worked on when I very first started was Star Wars the card game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And let's see, Netrunner. And after about 5 years of working with the card game team, there was an opportunity to become the card game team manager. So I got to be Danny's boss for a couple of years. And then went off on an adventure and got to freelance out in the market for lots of other game companies, freelanced back to other studios that we work with here at Asmodee, like AMG and Space Cowboys.
Nice.
And then came back in the graphic design manager role, where I've been for the last 4 years until the recent shift where now my full-time job is Star Wars, and I'm just working on becoming the most knowledgeable visual expert in Star Wars universe that I can possibly become.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today. I mean, we're talking about all the cool stuff that's going to be in these Carbonite packs, and so it made sense to have Mercedes come on and talk about all the different pieces that go into the visual design of the cards. And so we'll answer some questions about that as we go, but we've got a lot to talk about with, as we mentioned, the Carbonite packs. But before we get into those, we have a couple of just housekeeping things we want to mention. Is that, first off, Happy New Year. Thank you all so much for joining us in our first stream. We want to kick this off with a bang here. And so we are going to be jumping in and showing off everything that the Carbonite packs have to offer. Well, not everything. We'll show almost everything.
Most things, yeah.
Yeah, most things. We can't do everything at once. But we're really excited to talk about that. We also know that PQ season is happening right now, so people are participating in their planetary qualifiers, whether that be as players, judges, people streaming the events. It's super exciting. So we just want to wish everybody luck as the season continues, and congratulate the winners so far. We also wanted to note, I've seen it in the chat a little bit today, is that there was some things that happened at the Las Vegas planetary qualifier this last week. We are well aware of the situation here at FFG, and our team is working on it, and we'll be handling the rest of it internally. So we have nothing else we can tell you all today, but our team is well aware. So we thank you all in the community for making sure our team is on top of things and that we are informed of things that are happening out there in your local communities, because we can't be everywhere at once most of the time. We're here in Minnesota, but we appreciate you all letting us know. And so without further ado, let's hop into Carbonite Boosters. So Danny, do you want to give us an overview of what is a Carbonite Booster Pack for those who haven't even heard that name before?
Yeah, so a Carbonite Booster Pack is a special pack really aimed at the collector type. It's going to be a pack of 16 cards, just like a regular pack, but every single one of those cards is going to be some kind of cosmetic variant. It's going to be a foil, hyperspace, hyperfoil, or something even cooler than that, which we'll get into in a minute. These are going to have a limited print run. There's going to be not very many of these printed, and once they're gone, they're gone. We're never going to reprint it. So again, if you're a collector, get in while you can. There's some awesome stuff, and it's going to be limited supply. And they are going to be $24.99 MSRP.
Yeah.
And be sold in displays of 12 packs each.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So about half of what a normal packet or a normal booster display would be.
Yeah.
But a little pricier because some of these are all variants in different ways. And so,
yeah, and I should emphasize, no mechanically unique cards in here. So any card in a Carbonite pack is something that you could get the normal version of, or even the foil or hyperspace version of, in a regular booster pack. These are just going to be cool looking, cool, visually appealing cards, basically, yeah.
And every card in these packs is a visually, like, a different one than the standard card.
Yeah, exactly. We'll walk through a full breakdown in a minute, but yeah, it's all, like I said, foil, hyperspace, hyperfoil, potentially showcase, or other cool things that we'll talk about in a minute. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think those are the main points we want to hit before we jump into these. But let's go ahead and go to the pack breakdown. So let's start off with the first card that you're going to find in the pack, similar to what you find in a normal pack, right?
Yep. And just, to again, go over the full pack, it's going to be 16 cards, and in addition to being cosmetic upgrades on these, there's going to be higher odds of high rarity cards.
Okay.
Uncommons, rares, legendaries are going to show up more often than a typical pack. Compared to a normal pack, the odds of getting a rare or legendary version of like a foil or a hyperspace is going to be about 10 times as often or higher.
Wow, so and that's for rares and legendaries.
Rares,
and everything.
legendaries, all the variant versions. So it's pretty exciting.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So the first card in the pack is going to be just like a regular pack. It's your leader.
Yeah.
This is most of the time going to be a hyperspace leader of a card in set 4 with a small chance of it being a showcase. And I say small chance, but it is a much higher chance than a regular pack. Once every 2 displays or so, you're going to see a showcase leader.
Wow, 2 displays instead of
once every 12 for regular packs.
Yeah.
So really higher rate of showcase showing up in these packs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we have that. Yeah, there's the Asajj leader that we revealed, and yeah, that's incredible. We're not going to show the Asajj showcase just yet. We got a little time on that, but we're going to have other stuff we can show you here soon. Okay, what is the next cards that we have behind this leader as you would expect to see in a Star Wars Unlimited pack?
So after this, there's going to be 7 foil cards. This is regular foil, not hyperfoil. And I can talk a little bit about the details there. There's going to be some variants.
Okay.
So you're always going to get 2 uncommon foils there and at least 1 rare or legendary foil. But you also have a shot to get multiple rare or legendary foils. If I remember right, it's about once every 4 packs, you're going to be getting a second rare or legendary foil in those slots.
Wow,
yeah.
Okay. And this is just the foil section of this pack.
Yeah, just the foil section. There are more rares to come.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And next, we're going to actually jump a little further back in the pack.
Yeah.
And you are going to be guaranteed 2 hyperfoils in every pack, and guaranteed that one of those is going to be uncommon or better.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good odds there for the hyperfoils.
Yeah, not bad.
All right. And then obviously we have hyperspaces, right? Everyone's favorite there.
Yep. So 5 hyperspace cards in every pack. And there's a little more variance here than in the foils, but at least 2 or 3 of those are going to be uncommon or better. With, again, similar to foil, a chance that you'll get multiple rare hyperspaces. Not every pack will have that, but some packs could have multiple rare hyperspace cards as well. So in theory, you could get 5 or more, again, foil, hyperspace, hyperfoil rares in one of these packs.
Rares or legendaries even.
Or legendaries, yes. Yeah. I said rares, but yeah. Legendaries also
compared to
possible.
a regular pack, which, what, the max is 4-ish?
Yeah, you get a hyperspace, a regular, and a foil, and potentially a rare leader. So actually, there are even more in this pack because your leader could be rare.
So you could get a ton of rares here. Nice. All right. And last but not least, by far.
Last but most.
Last but most, like for sure.
Prestige cards.
Prestige cards. Yeah.
This is a new variant card type that is exclusive to Carbonite. You will not find these in regular packs. To be clear, anything else, obviously all the other things we talked about are also available in normal packs, as they always have been. But Prestige is only in Carbonite. And the way I think they kind of originally came about, I'll throw it to Mercedes at some point to talk about the details here, but they're kind of almost like showcases, but for non-leader cards. As you can see in the image there, the Falcon, really cool alternate art, expanded frame, and some really cool foiling and treatments that we'll get into. And there are also different tiers to the Prestige. So about 2/3 of the time, your Prestige is going to be sort of the base version, just alternate frame, alternate art, what you see on screen there. Roughly 1/3 of the time, that's going to get upgraded to Tier 2, which is going to have a special foil on it, a foil that's different than the foil on regular cards and packs. It's kind of got a cool pillar effect going on. And then very rarely, you're going to open up a serialized card. These cards are going to have, again, additional level of cool excitement on them. They're going to have like kind of a gloss on them. Mercedes will get into more details. And they're also going to have printed on them a serial number, some number out of 250 that will be unique in the whole world, right? There'll be one card in the world that's 1 out of 250 Millennium Falcon. There'll be one card in the world that's 100 out of 250. So these are going to be the rarest cards that we've I think, ever printed for the game. Certainly that have ever been available in booster packs.
Yeah.
Really, really, really exciting.
That's
Yeah.
That's sweet. So Mercedes, obviously we had the Millennium Falcon up there.
Yeah.
We'll show you all some more cards in a little bit, so don't worry, we'll get into that point. But obviously it looked brand new. It's a whole new type of style. So can you tell us a little bit about how you all originated this like graphic design treatment, as well as maybe the art pieces and how you kind of go about that process of making these cards from when we didn't have them before this, and now we're introducing this whole new style?
Yeah, well, a lot went into it because, I mean, if I think about it, you know, I'm still unifying my brain between like graphic design and the art portion, which, you know, they function independently of each other, but then come together at the end. And so when it comes to these cards in particular, we were highly inspired by the theme itself, which was mostly ships and whatnot with Jump to Lightspeed. So that's where we went with the ultimate minimalist framing that we could achieve at the time, with just adding a bit of decoration in terms of like the ship paneling and whatnot, because I believe all of the prestige cards in this set are featured ships.
Yeah, for set 4, for Jump to Lightspeed specifically, we went with all the unique ships for Prestige.
Do you want to say the number that there is for this set?
Yeah,
Prestige
there are
cards?
going to be 36 different Prestige cards.
36 different
for
Prestige
Jump to Lightspeed, and that, again, in the future, that could be a different number,
Yeah.
but for Jump to Lightspeed, that's what it is.
Very cool.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Prestige is it opens things up a lot for us creatively. We've been able to do a lot more in terms of just like using cool production effects and different, you know, technologies in terms of like UV coatings and substrates, like different foils, you know, whether we're using iridescent or holographic foil. And this was our first real foray into that, so we got to play with that a little bit. In terms of art, it's been pretty great because it affords us the opportunity to target special or high-end level artists that you know, might normally be out of our range for a main set. For instance, I brought notes just so I don't mess this up. The artist Brian Matias, who did the Falcon that we just saw and also did Fett's Firespray in this set. He's actually an LFL concept artist for The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, etc. So we get to work with some really good talent when it comes to these particular cards. And with these cards in set 4, mostly all of them were in space, so we just wanted to really focus and create a centralized scene around the, what we'll call the character of the ship itself.
Yeah.
So you'll see lots of like art pop-outs and spot gloss applied to those characters individually, ships,
Yeah.
at different tiers, units. So it was a fun blend, and what's really nice about it is it's just the beginning. Like, this is kind of like tip of the iceberg for where we're going in future sets, and we built up some momentum here, which is nice.
For sure. And I think that's a great thing that relates back to the chat. I know people were talking about, they said, are Carbonite packs something that's going to be just set 4, or were we doing this going forward? This is going forward for our sets. This is part of the product line that you'll see releasing the same time as things like the booster packs and the Spotlight decks now, and pre-release boxes obviously a little earlier, but the same time frame. And this also is a good lead into the fact that these are all just Jump to Lightspeed cards. We're not going back and grabbing things from set 1 through 3 and bringing them up to this. This is specifically designed around this set, and since the set's theme is very spaceship heavy, it makes sense that you all chose the 36, you said, unique ships.
Spaceships,
yeah, unique spaceships, which there's a little countdown everybody can do at home as we reveal each unique spaceship. They can like, okay, one more down. We're so close. We're halfway there. So that's really neat. So besides the thing, actually, before we get into the rest of this, I think it's important that we show what some of these things look like besides the Falcon. So I believe we have a graphic for each of the Fett's Firespray versions. So let's throw that up on the screen so we can walk through kind of what these look like, you know, from the ones you can find in the standard booster pack all the way up to those tier 3. There we go. Look at that.
Look at that art. Wow.
Wow. All right. So we have the standard version of the Fett's Firespray that you'll find in the Boba Fett Spotlight deck, releasing with Jump to Lightspeed. And then moving left to right, you have the tier 1, no foiling. And then do you all want to explain the differences between 1, 2, and 3 a little bit more now that they have them up there?
Yeah, so tier 2 and tier 3 are both on unique foil, and tier 3, we added spot gloss, and you'll see the shift in the frame there where it goes from silver to gold. So those will be extra special when you pull one of those, like you're gonna know it.
Yeah, they really pop. Yeah,
You will know.
Yes,
And then
yes.
the Firespray overlaps a little bit of the frame there too, which is kind of cool. You can see on the tip on the bottom right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's some of the art pop out that we talked about.
That's really neat. Wow, that art piece is just ridiculous. It might be one of my favorite.
All these prestige cards, just they look so good.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Well, we'll leave it out there for one more second so everybody can get just a couple more seconds looking at it. But we have a special surprise, which is the fact that we have no packs for us to open right now. That'll come on a later stream. Mercedes will have your back, and we'll open some packs for the first time here once we get those Carbonite here in the office.
wait.
But we do have a couple of the cards, so I think we could show off the foil. I believe we have the Fett's Firespray foil that we'll show off real quick so you all can see kind of that foiling over there. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. We do not have one of the tier 3 serialized ones here with us today. Those are obviously all on the packs. Maybe we'll get lucky and open them on stream when we do open the Carbonite packs. That's the goal, fingers crossed. But until then, we'll let you all, understand that this is what it looks like with the framing and what the actual serialization looks like. But we also have, the Millennium Falcon we already showed off before, but we could show you the Millennium Falcon with foil too. I think it's important that you see what it looks like on a couple different cards, and who doesn't like seeing cool new art? So let's go ahead and throw it over to the Millennium Falcon. Oh yeah, what a cool card too.
Yeah, the foil really looks nice with that art, I think.
Is it foiled over like the HP and power area too, it looks like? Which
Yes.
is, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, the whole entire card, if you think about it, is foiled. There's just different levels of what we would call a white mask that influences how shiny or not shiny it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so somebody asked, the ones we are showing are the tier 2. So the tier 1 have no foiling at all.
Right.
It is the new art and style for it, but there's no foiling at all. And that's the one you can find. You will find one of these prestige cards in every single pack. More likely than not, you'll find the tier 1, and then if you're lucky, about a third of the time, you'll find a foil version of the tier 2. And then even more rare, you'll hopefully, luckily for you, find a tier 3 one, which is the serialized card.
Yeah, and the tier 3, they just, I mean, they're going to look so cool. With the spot gloss on them and the gold.
Yep.
Just another step up from the tier 2.
Yeah, it just keeps going. So besides the things that we just showed you with the Falcon and Fett's Firespray, there are a couple of things that we're doing that's pretty unique for just a couple of the cards, Mercedes. Do you want to talk a little bit about one of those things, which is the diptychs?
Oh, right. So one of the things that we got to do this time with the art, because we went with this frameless design, was we were allowed, we were able to do some what we call diptychs, which is basically where we create a mural of art pieces. So in this case, it's we have pairings of ships in a couple of instances, and then you'll basically, so that when you get those cards, if you get both of them and you're putting them together in your binder, they'll actually, like, next to each other, they make one single full image, which is really, I think, really fun. It was a good technical challenge for us.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
And so I believe there's 2 different sets of diptychs in this set, correct?
That's correct.
We won't say the name of the cards yet. You all can, you can take your guesses, knowing that they're unique ships and that they would go together. But there are 2 different diptychs that will be out there for you all to go looking for in these prestige cards. Besides diptychs, we also, do you want to give a hint towards the other one? We don't have to say what the actual other one is, but I know this other style change for this kind of threw a big hoop for you to jump through in how you design a card.
Are you referring to the horizontal cards?
I am.
Yes,
Those are
there's
really cool.
a couple of cards that we decided, since this is a fun play space for us to work in creatively, that there's a couple units, and I'll let you imagine what they would be for long ships that would work better at a horizontal angle. So the card is oriented, longwise instead of vertically this way. And so the frame is, uniquely custom to that. It looks exactly like the other, just of course resized to be appropriate for these cards.
Yeah. Those. I'm very excited for people to see those. It took a lot for us to not show those off, but we've got big plans for those cards in the future, so we're holding back today on that part of things. But I think that I'm looking just to see if we caught up with some of the questions. We got a couple questions in the chat. I think we answered those. the Carbonite packs, will these only be released in English? Danny, I believe you have
Yeah, it is only English.
Okay.
Just logistically keeping all the serialized cards in the single print run, but they will be available in all the markets just as English cards.
Nice.
Yeah.
And will the new cards be legal to play in tournaments?
Yep, everything is tournament legal. If you want to bring your 1 out of 250 serialized card and play it in a tournament, that is your right. You can do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of playing with these cards, I know that some of you out there are already thinking about this, and I'm sure it's top of mind for some of you real players out there, but can you draft with these packs?
Theoretically, yes. So this is a question that came up when we were designing them, actually, and they're not optimized for draft in the same way that a normal pack is, obviously. They have a lot more rares and legendaries and a lot fewer commons, so it'll be a very different draft experience, but there is a leader in every pack. They are 16-card packs. You would have to supply your own 30 health bases, but you could draft them, and I hope somebody does.
And I hope somebody does.
Yeah.
That's fair. Maybe we should just draft them here in the
Yeah.
office. Yeah, I think we could do it. All right. So I think that is most of the questions we had here. But I think one thing I just wanted to ask is, obviously for this set, it's the unique spaceships are the ones getting the prestige variant. But not every set will get prestige variants for every single card. Is there a way that you all are like looking at this of how you want to pick which ones that get prestige? Is it based on rarity? Is it based on uniqueness? Is there anything that you all want to hint towards for the future of what prestige looks like for what we know at least?
For sure, yeah. It will be different from for every set, but it'll always, I think, be about what's the most exciting part of this set, what fits with the themes of the set, and what's just going to be cool to open. So yeah, rarity is part of that. Just getting like cool, iconic characters or whatever into the prestige cards is part of that as well. Yeah. So it will, every set will look a little bit different, and every set will have cool new graphic elements or art elements coming in that I can't wait to show off. But
we can't really talk about much that's going on in the future, but
Yeah.
I got to tell you that having the distance between making this one and where we're at now, like there's this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of like coolness and design and all that other kind of stuff. And as we get further into each release, you're going to see more and more progression through cool different effects that we get to explore, like print effects. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Well, I think that answers most of the questions we had. The only other question I saw in the chat was, where can you get these packs? Which would be at your local game store where you are already purchasing your cards. That is the best place to go looking for these. So be sure to talk to your FLGS and get your orders in with them, and let them know that you're interested in the Carbonite packs, and hopefully you all can get your hands on them, and we'll see the serialized cards when you open them then. But thank you both for joining us. But before we leave, it wouldn't be a live stream if we didn't show you all at least one new card. And since this is the Carbonite Booster Pack stream, we have to show off the prestige version of it as well. So let's go ahead and show off. I believe we have Blue Leader here for us today. So this is the prestige version of that card. We will show off the other one in the future, I'm sure, on a stream and while we're playing. But this is the Scarif Air Support. It's a 3-cost 3/3 with ambush. When played, you may pay 2. If you do, move this unit to the ground arena and give 2 experience tokens to it. Who doesn't love jumping between arenas, right?
This is pretty fun, yeah. The ship that can swoop down to the ground and just deal with a problem down there for you.
Yeah, it's even more swooping than like the one from set 1.
Yeah, Strafing Gunship. It actually, it swoops down and it stays down there. Yeah.
And that's just a gorgeous art piece.
Yeah, it looks beautiful in Prestige.
Yes. So thank you again, both of you, for joining us. Thank you all at home for joining us. For those of you looking for a little bit more information about the Carbonite packs, we will have an article going live at 2 p.m. today. So be sure to share that with your friends or your LGS if they have questions about what Carbonite packs are. That'll have most of the information we covered here, besides Blue Leader. That was specific for us. But we really appreciate you all joining us in this new year, and we cannot wait to talk to you all next week as we do a deck tech on Wednesday. But in addition to that, we have a surprise stream coming up next Tuesday with GameGenic Head of Studio Adrian Alonso as he reveals all of the Set 4 product line for GameGenic for Star Wars Unlimited. We're super excited to talk about Jump to Lightspeed and what that means for GameGenic's accessories for this game, and we cannot wait to have you all join us then. So, as always, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.